I woke at 5:12 that morning. The kind of early where the house still feels half asleep. My wife Elaine had left a cup of tea on my desk. She hadn't done that in months. I thought it was her way of apologizing after last night's argument. Then my phone buzzed. A text from my bank. Confirmed. $185 million. Transfer initiated, I whispered. Elaine, what did you do? She answered, from the hallway. Trembling. I didn't think you'd find out today. The sound of her voice froze me in my chair. Elaine stood in the doorway, her hands clasped together, like she was steadying herself against something I couldn't see. I stared at her. Then at the text. Then back at her again. For a moment, the only thing I could think was $185 million. That had to be a mistake. We weren't wealthy people. We'd saved, sure, 40 years of scraping and planning and hoping, but nothing close to that. I cleared my throat. Elaine, what is this? She didn't answer right away. She just stared at the mug on my desk, the tea she'd made, as though it held the explanation. When she finally spoke, her voice was so thin I had to lean forward to hear her. You weren't supposed to see it yet, Tom. See what? I asked. What does this even mean? A transfer from where to who? She stepped into the room and shut the door behind her. That alone was enough to unsettle me. Elaine never closed doors unless something was wrong. Sit with me, she said, gesturing to the edge of the bed. Please, you won't understand if you're angry. I'm not angry, I said, even though my voice cracked a little. I'm scared. Elaine let out a breath. One of those slow, weary exhalations that seemed to carry years inside it. She sat down, folding her hands in her lap. It's an inheritance, Tom. That word hit me like a slap. Inheritance? From who? We don't have anyone left. She nodded. Not on your side. I stared. Something dark moved through my stomach. Elaine, what are you saying? She finally looked me in the eyes, and I saw fear there. Real fear. Someone reached out last month. Someone I never told you about. I didn't want to. But, Elaine, I interrupted. 5 weeks ago you told me you were visiting your sister. You said she needed help packing her house. I know, she whispered. I lied. That word hung between us, thick as fog. Why would you lie about something like that? Who contacted you? What is this money? Before she could answer, my phone buzzed again. Another message from the bank. Fraud alert. Possible unauthorized transfer. Review immediately. I held the phone up for her to see. Elaine, this isn't small. This isn't $100. This is the kind of thing that gets the government involved. Tell me what's going on. She grabbed my wrist. Tom, you need to hear the whole thing before you call anyone. Before you stop trusting me. My throat tightened. Why would I stop trusting you? She looked down. Because it started long before I met you. I felt my pulse in my ears. Elaine, what started? She didn't answer. Not with words. Instead, she reached into the drawer of the bedside table and took out a brown envelope, thick and worn along the edges. She turned it over in her hands like she was afraid of it. This came 3 months ago, she said softly. From a lawyer in Montana. I didn't open it at first. I thought it was a mistake. But then he called. What lawyer? I asked. His name is Rourke, she said. He said, my birth father passed away. I frowned. Elaine, your father died when you were a baby. You told me that when we married. I believed that, she said. My mother let me believe it. She kept the truth from me. My entire life. What truth? That the man who raised me wasn't my real father, and that the man who was extremely wealthy. The kind of wealthy you read about, but never meet. I blinked at her, trying to piece together the puzzle. And he left you $185 million? Her chin trembled. More, but that's the amount of the first transfer. My mouth went dry. Why didn't you tell me? Because it doesn't feel like a gift, she whispered, fingers tightening around the envelope. It feels like he left me a problem. Or a warning. A warning, I repeated. Elaine, if you think someone is threatening you, it's not that simple, she cut in. Look. She opened the envelope and slid its contents onto the bed. A handful of typed pages, a letter and a photo. My eyes fell on the photo first. It showed a man in his 70s, standing on the porch of a ranch house. He had the same eyes as Elaine, same shape, same color. The letter, however, chilled me more. Elaine, it began, you do not know me, but I have watched you your entire life. I am not asking forgiveness. I am asking for caution. The money I leave you is yours by blood, but it comes with weight attached. There are people who will want it back. You must protect yourself. And the only person you can trust is the one who shares your home. I exhaled sharply. Elaine, he says to trust me. Why hide this from me? She looked up, eyes wet. Because I don't know which part of this is true. And last night, when you mentioned wanting to refinance the house, I panicked. I didn't want anything linked. Not yet. I rubbed my forehead trying to make sense of the chaos. So the transfer, what triggered it today? She swallowed. The lawyer said. The money would be released automatically when the estate cleared. I thought we had more time. Is that why you looked so sick last night? I asked. She nodded. I've barely slept. Every time the phone rings, I think someone's coming for us. I closed my eyes, letting her words sink in. Elaine, you should have told me. We could have faced this together. I was afraid you'd leave, she whispered. I opened my eyes. Why on earth would I leave you over something like a hard knock at the front door cut me off? One, then two, then a third. Slow, heavy, deliberate. Elaine's face went white. Tom, they said no one would come before noon. Who? I asked. She shook her head. I don't know, but they're early. The knock came again, harder this time, like someone testing the strength of the door. I stood up slowly. Elaine grabbed my arm. Her hand was shaking so violently I could feel each tremor through my sleeve. Tom, don't open it, please. We can't just pretend we're not home, I said. Whoever it is, they already know we're here. She tightened her grip. Tom, listen to me. The lawyer told me there were others. People tied to my father's estate. People who don't want the money leaving the family. If this is one of them. Elaine, I cut in, keeping my voice low. You can't hide behind guesses. Not now. Let me see who it is. She didn't release my arm, but she didn't stop me either. I walked to the bedroom door, each step heavier than the last. That was worse. Silence always is. When I reached the hallway, I saw a shadow through the frosted glass of the front door. Tall, still, waiting. I cleared my throat. Who's there? A pause. Then a man's voice, calm, controlled. Mr. Dalton. I froze. Elaine reached the hallway and stood behind me, barely breathing. Again the voice, Mr. Thomas Dalton? I swallowed. Who's asking? My name is Conrad Hale, the man said. I'm with Rourke and Associates. I represent the estate of Mr. James Harwood. Elaine gasped softly. I felt her fingers clutch my shirt. I opened the door halfway, keeping my foot behind it just in case. The man on the porch wasn't what I expected. He wasn't dressed like a threat. He wore a simple gray jacket, jeans, glasses. He looked more like a school principal than someone sent to reclaim a fortune. His expression, though calm in a way that didn't match the hour, put me on edge. Mr. Dalton, he said, with a polite nod. Mrs. Dalton, he said with a polite nod. Mrs. Dalton. Elaine stepped back. Why are you here? You weren't supposed to come until noon. Conrad blinked, then tilted his head. Noon? No. Mrs. Dalton. Our appointment is tomorrow. This visit is separate. The hair rose on the back of my neck. Separate how? He held up a small black folder. There's been a development. May I come in? It's important. Elaine shook her head immediately. No, not until you tell us what this is about. Conrad hesitated. Then he lowered his voice. Mrs. Dalton, the transfer was intercepted. My stomach dropped. What do you mean intercepted? He opened the folder just enough for me to see the first page, a printed screenshot of some internal transaction ledger, numbers, dates, arrows, a section highlighted in red. The $185 million, he said quietly. It didn't reach your account. For a moment I forgot how to breathe. Elaine leaned into me, gripping my arm so hard it hurt. Where is it? I asked. Conrad glanced over his shoulder, scanning the street, as if expecting someone to appear. May I step inside? I'd rather not discuss this out here. I looked at Elaine. She shook her head again, but something in her eyes changed, fear mixed with recognition. She knew something, or suspected it. I pushed the door open wider. Come in, but keep it brief. Conrad nodded and stepped inside, closing the door gently behind him. He didn't sit. He stood near the entryway, posture straight, hands folded over the folder. I'll get right to the point. A secondary claimant has appeared. Someone who was not part of the original estate documents. Elaine's voice was barely a whisper. Secondary claimant, as in, another heir? Conrad adjusted his glasses. Possibly. At least that's what they're asserting. They contacted the estate's financial arm last night. Their lawyers argued that the transfer to you constitutes a breach of fiduciary duty. I stared at him. In plain English. They're saying the money should have gone to them, he said, and they froze the transaction until the court reviews it. Elaine sank onto the ottoman. But the letter said my father said there were people who wanted it back. He warned me. Conrad glanced at her. He also warned you only one person could be trusted. My jaw tightened. And who exactly is this other claimant? Did they give a name? He hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. Conrad, I said, taking a step toward him. Tell us the name, he sighed. They call themselves Dalton. Elaine looked up sharply. Dalton. But. My breath left me in a slow, stunned exhale. That's our last name. Conrad nodded. Yes. Which suggests they're claiming relation on your side, Mr. Dalton. Not hers. The room tilted. That's impossible. I have no ties to Harwood's estate. I've never even heard of the man before today. Conrad opened the folder again and handed me a second page, a copy of some legal filing. At the top, CLA meant Harlan J. Dalton. I froze. Elaine whispered. Tom, who is that? My grandfather, I said quietly. He died 34 years ago. Conrad shook his head. Not according to this document. According to this, he died last month. In Montana. Elaine stared at him like he'd spoken another language. But that's impossible. Tom and I visited the cemetery. Harlan Dalton has a headstone. A grave. Conrad lowered his voice. Mrs. Dalton graves can be empty. A chill crawled through me. What are you implying? That your family and hers might be linked in ways neither of you were aware of, he said. And the sudden appearance of this claimant suggests someone has been waiting for this transfer for a very long time. Elaine stood. But why use our name? Why tie it to Tom's family? Conrad closed the folder. Because the estate is no longer just an inheritance. It's now a matter of contested lineage. If their claim is validated, they could seize every dollar. I rubbed my temples. So what do we do? Conrad took a slow breath. Before he died, Mr. Harwood left a final instruction. A contingency plan. If any claimant contested the transfer, you were to receive a sealed document. Something he said would resolve the truth. Elaine stepped closer. Where is it? Conrad reached into his jacket and pulled out a small sealed envelope, thick, heavy, sealed with a dark red wax. I hadn't seen since my childhood. He held it out. "This belongs to you, Mrs. Dalton." Elaine reached for it, but Conrad pulled it back slightly. "One thing first," he said. He warned that whatever is inside it may change everything you believe about your family. Both of you. I looked at Elaine. She looked at me. Her lips trembled. "Give it to me," she whispered. Conrad placed the envelope in her hand. The moment her fingers closed around it, another knock thundered at the door, harder than before, shaking the frame. Conrad's eyes went wide. "That's not my firm." Elaine clutched the envelope to her chest. "Tom, someone else knows." The knocking intensified, heavily, impatiently, demanding. I took a breath, stepped toward the door, and whispered, "Elaine, do not open that envelope unless I tell you to." She nodded. I put my hand on the doorknob, and the voice on the other side growled, "Thomas Dalton, open up, now." The voice on the other side of the door didn't sound like Conrad's calm professionalism, or even like someone trying to be polite. It was low, rough, and edged with something that made my stomach tighten. Elaine stepped back into the hallway. Conrad moved closer to me, lowering his voice until it was barely audible. "Mr. Dalton, do not open that door without asking who they represent," I whispered back. "Do you know who it is?" His jaw tightened. That was answer enough. Another pounding slam rattled the door. "Open it, Dalton. We're not leaving." Elaine clutched the sealed envelope to her chest. She looked at me like she was holding her breath hostage. I walked to the door, every step measured. "Who are you?" I asked. The voice replied instantly. "Estate Security Division." "Open the door," Conrad muttered. "They don't identify themselves like that, ever." "Then who are they?" I asked him quietly. He didn't answer. His silence was louder than the banging. I steadied myself and called through the door again. "Show identification." A pause. Then a paper-thin attempt at calm. "Sir, we don't have time for that. This concerns the transfer executed this morning. We need to verify your identity." Conrad stepped closer, leaned toward the door, and spoke clearly. "Which division? State your authority." Silence. Then the pounding resumed. Faster now, as if whoever stood outside had run out of patience. Elaine grabbed my sleeve, whispering frantically, "Tom, don't open it. Something's wrong, you hear it too." Before I could answer, Conrad's phone buzzed. He glanced down, frowned, and then his face drained of color. "It's Rark," he said. "He never calls during a field visit." He stepped back and answered the call. I heard only his half of the conversation. "Yes, I'm at their residence. Yes, the envelope has been delivered. No, they haven't opened." "Wait, what? Are you certain? When? How?" He shut his eyes, his free hand pressed to his forehead. "Understood. I'll handle it." "What is it?" I asked. He ended the call slowly, then slipped the phone into his pocket. "Mr. Dalton, Mrs. Dalton. Someone breached the estate records early this morning. Illegally, they accessed your profiles, your address, your transfer logs," Elaine whispered. "So whoever is outside, they're not with my firm," he said. Voice low, "and they're not with the court." The pounding suddenly stopped. The silence that followed was worse, much worse. I leaned toward the peephole. Nothing, no one, just an empty porch and the swaying branch of our maple tree. "They're gone," I murmured. Conrad shook his head. "No, they're repositioning. They'll try the back." As he said those words, the unmistakable creak of our backyard gate echoed faintly through the house. Elaine let out a small cry before clamping her hand over her mouth. I turned to Conrad. "What do they want? The money?" He hesitated. "Not just the money. Then what else?" I demanded. His eyes flicked to Elaine. Her. My body went cold. "Explain, now." Conrad inhaled slowly. Mr. Harwood's estate wasn't merely financial. It involved land, companies, political ties, and bloodline documentation. If another heir exists, one connected through your family, Mr. Dalton, then someone might want to remove Mrs. Dalton from the equation entirely. Elaine whispered. By remove, you mean? He didn't say the word. He didn't need to. Behind us, something scraped against the back window. A slow drag across the glass. Elaine grabbed my arm. Tom, please, we need to leave. I turned to Conrad. Is there another way out? He nodded. The garage. If they're at the window, they haven't reached that side yet. We moved quickly but quietly down the hallway. The envelope in Elaine's hand looked heavier than when she first received it, like it was gathering weight with every step we took. What's in it? I whispered. Conrad answered without looking back. Proof. Of what? He hesitated. Of who the rightful heir is and who isn't. Elaine stopped walking. Conrad, are you saying my father suspected this would happen? He didn't just suspect. Conrad said softly. He planned for it. We reached the door that led into the garage. I pressed my ear to it. Nothing. No footsteps. No movement. Just the faint hum of the water heater. All right, I whispered. Let's go. But when I pushed the door open, a figure stepped out from behind my wife's car. I froze. Elaine gasped. Conrad instinctively reached for my shoulder and pulled me back. The man was tall, wearing a dark jacket and a baseball cap pulled low enough to obscure his eyes. But I saw his hands gloved, and he wasn't holding a badge. Mr. Dalton, he said quietly. It's time to talk. Conrad stepped forward. You do not have authorization to be here. Leave now. Or what? The man said, tilting his head. You'll call Rourke? You think he's the only one with information? He took a single step forward, and I positioned myself between him and Elaine. My heart was pounding, but not from fear. Something else had kicked in. Something old and familiar from years ago when my brother needed me to stand up for him. What do you want? I asked. The man's voice lowered. The envelope. Nothing else. Elaine clutched it tighter. You're not touching it. His jaw flexed. Mrs. Dalton. You don't understand. That document isn't just about you. It concerns everyone tied to the Harwood estate, including the ones who shouldn't be. Meaning what? I asked. He pointed at me, meaning him. Elaine grabbed my hand. Tom is not part of your estate. He has nothing to do with this. The man's lips twisted. You really believe that? Conrad stepped between us and the man. You've said enough. Leave. The man didn't move. Open the envelope, he said. Read it. Then decide if you still want to run. Elaine held the envelope close to her chest. Tell us why. Right now. Why would Tom's family be involved? He sighed, as if tired of the pretense. Because Harwood didn't have just one hidden child. The words hit me like a blow. What did you say? You heard me, the man said. The estate isn't between two families. It's one. And the document in her hand proves it. Elaine's fingers trembled around the envelope. The man took another step. Open it. Conrad's voice was sharp. Don't. I looked at Elaine. She looked at me. There was fear in her eyes, but something else too, determination. Tom, she whispered. If this affects you too, I need to know. The man extended his hand. Open it, and we talk. Keep it closed, and things get complicated. At that moment, a car engine roared to life outside the garage, ours. Someone had climbed into my truck. Oh God, Elaine said. There are more of them. The man didn't react. He just stood there, waiting. Mrs. Dalton, he said quietly. The truth has waited decades. Don't wait another minute. Elaine looked at the envelope, then at me. Tom, do I open it? Before I could answer, Conrad grabbed my shoulder hard. If she opens that, everything changes. I looked at Elaine, my wife, frightened and pale, but still holding on, and whispered, "Elaine, whatever's in there, we face it together." Her fingers slipped under the wax seal, and the garage door behind us began to rise. The garage door rising wasn't fast. It was slow, mechanical, loud enough to drown out everyone's breathing. The man in the cap didn't look behind him. He didn't need to, he knew what was coming. Conrad reacted first. He grabbed my arm and yanked me behind Elaine, positioning himself between us and the opening door. "Stay low," he whispered. "Do not." A silhouette appeared under the rising door. Broad shoulders, a heavy jacket, a glint of something metallic at their side. Elaine gasped, her fingers tightening around the half-broken seal of the envelope. She hadn't opened it yet. The man in the cap lifted one hand slowly. "Stand down," he said, toward the silhouette. "They haven't opened it." The silhouette paused, but didn't back away. Conrad leaned closer to me. "There are at least 2 of them now, maybe 3. They're not here to negotiate." "Then what?" I whispered. "Pressure," he said. "Psychological first, physical second." The garage door locked into its fully open position with a final clunk. Cold air swept inside. The figure on the other side stepped under the frame. My stomach knotted. It was a woman, mid-40s, sharp eyes, hair pulled back. It wasn't her appearance that unsettled me. It was her expression. Calm. Too calm. Like she had already prepared for every possible outcome. Her gaze moved directly to Elaine's hands. "So," the woman said, in a voice that held no warmth, "you haven't opened it yet." Elaine's knuckles whitened around the envelope. "Why do you care?" The woman didn't answer. Instead, she spoke to the man who'd been hiding behind our car. "Cole," she said. "Step aside." Cole, so the man in the cap had a name, didn't move. "She deserves to know before we escalate." The woman's jaw tightened. "Our instructions don't include your opinions." Cole took a small step back, not out of fear, but frustration. "If they read it, we can avoid unnecessary damage, or cause more," the woman snapped. "Depending on what they decide." Elaine held the envelope closer. "If you want it, take it from me." The woman smiled faintly. "I'm not here to hurt you, Mrs. Dalton." Her eyes flicked to me. "Him, on the other hand, that depends entirely on the contents of that document." A wave of chills ran through me. "Why me?" "Because this estate was built on secrecy," she said. "And secrets that involve your lineage have consequences." "My lineage?" I said. "I'm not related to Harwood." She raised an eyebrow. "You're certain of that?" Elaine looked at me, anguish tightening her features. "Tom, no. This is ridiculous." "You're not. This has nothing to do with you." The woman sighed. "If only that were true." Cole stepped forward again, ignoring her glare. "Open it," he said to Elaine. "No one here moves until you do," Conrad whispered sharply. "Elaine, don't." But Elaine's eyes were locked on mine. She was shaking, breath shallow, but her voice was steady. "I can't keep running blind," she said. "Not when this affects you. Us." She slid her finger under the wax seal again. The woman tensed. Cole tensed. Even Conrad inhaled sharply. The seal snapped. Elaine unfolded the thick document inside. Her eyes scanned the first lines and she froze. "Elaine," I whispered, "what is it?" She didn't answer. Her face went pale. Her hand trembled. I stepped closer, but Conrad blocked me gently. "Let her read." Cole watched her with a mixture of anticipation and pity. The woman simply waited, arms crossed. Elaine swallowed hard. "Tom, this can't be right. What does it say?" Her eyes lifted to mine, full of fear. "Tom, it says Harwood had a son. A second child." I nodded slowly. "We knew that might be the case," Conrad mentioned. She shook her head. "Not a hidden son from his affairs. Not a distant cousin. not someone unrelated. Her voice cracked. His son was adopted out, secretly before anyone knew. My heartbeat hammered. Elaine. She took another breath, and when she spoke again, the words felt like they were happening in a dream I couldn't wake up from. It says, "You were that child." The world tilted. "No," I said immediately. "No. That's impossible. Tom." She held out the document with trembling hands. "It's your birth record. It's signed by him. Your original name, your adoption transfer. Everything." I stared at the papers. My eyes saw the words, but my mind refused. Cole's voice broke through the stunned silence. "Now you understand why we're here." The woman stepped forward. "The estate is not hers alone. Legally it's split between her and you. Equal shares." Conrad exhaled heavily. "Tom, this changes everything." Elaine whispered, "But why didn't my father tell us? Why hide it? Why?" "Because," the woman said, "if this got out, everything your father built, all his agreements, all his alliances, would have collapsed. He kept your husband hidden to protect you both," Cole added quietly, "and because others would have tried to eliminate one of you to control the inheritance." A horrible realization settled over me. "So whoever broke into the estate records was looking for you," Cole said. "And for proof," Elaine clutched my arm, "then we need to leave. Now." The woman shook her head. "You're not leaving." "Like hell we're not," I snapped. She raised her hand slightly, not as a threat, but as a warning. "You misunderstand. I'm not here to abduct you. I'm here to bring you in before the people who breached the records. Find you first. They will kill for that document." "Who are they?" I demanded. She didn't answer directly. "Think of them as the ones who believe the estate should go to neither of you." Elaine swallowed hard. "Then who?" "People with power," the woman said, "and nothing to lose." Conrad stepped forward. "And what exactly is your organization's interest? Protection or acquisition?" Cole answered instead. "Protection, but only as long as they come willingly." "And if we don't?" I asked. The woman's eyes hardened. "Then someone else will take your place, or remove it entirely." Elaine wrapped her arm through mine. "We're not going anywhere with you without understanding everything first." The woman sighed, impatient. "There's no time. Your truck is compromised. Your house is compromised. Your identities are compromised." Cole leaned forward. "You've read the truth. Now decide, stay and die for it, or come with us and live long enough to understand why Harwood hid you." I looked at Elaine. She looked at me. Our lives, our marriage, everything we thought we knew had shattered in minutes. "Tom," she whispered. Tears forming. "Whatever choice we make it together." I squeezed her hand, then turned back to Cole and the woman, and I made our decision. I didn't speak immediately. I let the silence stretch, because I needed to hear my own heartbeat settle before I committed to anything. Elaine squeezed my hand again, grounding me. Conrad watched us with that quiet, analytical expression he wore when he was trying to predict outcomes but didn't like any of them. I faced Cole. "We go with you," I said slowly. "But under one condition." The woman made a small, annoyed noise. Cole raised a hand to quiet her. "What condition?" "No separation," I said. "Not for any reason. Elaine stays with me. Conrad stays with us. If we're doing this, we're doing it together." Cole nodded immediately. "Fair and smart." The woman's jaw tightened. "Not smart. Dangerous. Every extra body complicates." "Then we're complicated," I said. "Take it or leave it." She stared at me for several seconds. Her eyes were cold, calculating. But there was something else there too, respect, maybe, or irritation that she couldn't bully me into compliance. Finally, she gave a curt nod. "Fine," she said. "But if any of you run or contact anyone outside our network, the protection ends instantly. We don't have anyone left to call." Elaine whispered. The woman's expression softened just barely. I know. Cole stepped forward. We need to go, now. They could already be tracking the document's movement. Lang clutched the envelope tighter. They don't have it. The woman shook her head. They don't need it. They just need to know who does. Conrad cut in. Where are you taking us? Safe house, Cole said. 3 hours away. Rural, off-grid. You'll be debriefed there. 3 hours, Elaine said. What if they're already on the road? They won't follow us directly, Cole said. Too obvious. They'll wait for an intercept point. That did nothing to calm her. Cole motioned us toward a black SUV parked near the garage entrance, hidden until now by the angle of the truck. It looked ordinary, but the way the woman moved toward it carefully, scanning angles, told me it was anything but. Tom, Elaine whispered. Are you sure? No, I said honestly, but I'm sure staying is worse. Before we climbed inside, Conrad asked the woman, What do we call you? She hesitated. You don't. Then she opened the front passenger door and slid in. Cole gestured for us to enter. Back row, keep your heads down until we hit the main road. Elaine climbed in first. I followed. Conrad closed the door behind us and took the seat beside me. Cole got behind the wheel. The locks clicked automatically, but it didn't feel hostile, more like protocol. The SUV rolled slowly out of the garage and onto the street. The instant we cleared the corner, the woman muttered, Left. Don't go main. Cole turned left without hesitation. Elaine leaned toward me. Tom. That document, your original name. Did you see it? No, I swallowed. I'm not ready, she nodded. Understanding, her hand slipped into mine again. Conrad leaned forward slightly. I have a question. The woman didn't turn. You usually do. Harwood adopted Tom out to protect him. Fine. That explains secrecy. But who was Tom's biological mother? The SUV felt even smaller. Cole exhaled slowly. We'll get to that. No, Conrad said. We'll get to it now. The woman glanced at him through the rearview mirror. Are you always this stubborn? I'm a retired attorney, Conrad said. Stubbornness is the job. Cole gave a humorless chuckle. The mother, Conrad repeated. The woman didn't answer for several seconds. Then she said, Unknown. I leaned forward. Unknown how? Unknown to who? Unknown to everyone, she said. There is no record of her. No name, no birthplace. Not even a physical description. Elaine covered her mouth. But that's impossible. There has to be something. It was erased, the woman said simply, and not by Harwood. Then by who? I asked. She didn't answer. Cole's grip tightened on the wheel. Let's stay focused. We're 15 minutes from the interstate. The woman shot him a look. Avoid the interstate. We can't avoid it forever, he argued. We're not going to safe house D, she said. What? Cole frowned. Why not? It's compromised. Cole's knuckles went white. Since when? Since the breach, she said. They found D first. They'll monitor the surrounding towns. So we're improvising, Cole said tightly. Yes, she said. We reroute to Safe House K. That's 4 hours in the opposite direction. Exactly, she said. They won't anticipate it. Elaine closed her eyes. Oh God, I held her hand tighter. We're fine, but I didn't believe it. Cole changed course at the next intersection. 10 minutes passed, in taut silence. Then Conrad's phone buzzed. Everyone froze. It's in airplane mode. Conrad whispered. Airplane mode still leaks. If not shut down. The woman snapped. Turn it off. Now. Conrad pulled it out slowly. But when he saw the screen, his face drained of color. Elaine whispered. What is it? He turned the screen toward us. A text notification flashed. Despite airplane mode. UN 10. Your friend is not who he thinks he is. My stomach dropped. Cole cursed under his breath. They're pinging devices manually. Shut it off. Conrad powered off the phone instantly. Elaine looked at me, eyes wide. Tom, how would they know Conrad's number? The woman spoke before I could. They're not contacting him. Then who? Elaine began. They're contacting you, she said. Indirectly, to destabilize you. Another message flashed before the phone finished shutting down. Known, ask him about the cabin in 1989 before he forgets. I felt the air go dead around us. Elaine whispered. Tom, what is that? I shook my head. I have no idea what that means. Conrad stared at me with an intensity I didn't recognize. Tom, do you? No, I said sharply. I was 12 in 1989. I don't know anything about a cabin. The SUV slowed slightly. As Cole glanced at us through the mirror. They're fishing. Ignore it. But the woman shook her head. No, they're not fishing. They know something. Before anyone could question that, the SUV jolted, hard. The tires skidded. Elaine grabbed my arm. What was that? She cried. Cole swore. Road spikes, the woman shouted. Go, go, go. The SUV lurched forward as Cole slammed the accelerator, trying to outrun whatever was behind us. Conrad turned in his seat, looking through the back window. We've got 2 vehicles following. Fast. My pulse hammered. Is it them? The woman didn't answer. She didn't need to. Elaine whispered, trembling. Tom, what do we do? The woman finally turned around to face us fully. Eyes sharp, urgent. You hold on, she said. Everything is about to get much worse. And then Cole shouted, They're forcing us off the road. The SUV jerked sideways so violently that Elaine screamed and grabbed the seat in front of her. Cole fought the wheel, steering into the skid. But whatever hit us wasn't done. Another slam from behind sent the SUV fishtailing across the narrow 2-lane road. Hold on, Cole barked. The woman braced herself against the dashboard. Don't stop. If you stop, they'll box us in. A white pickup swerved behind us, dangerously close. Another dark sedan appeared on the left, inching forward, trying to force us toward the ditch. Conrad twisted around to look. 3 vehicles. They're coordinated. Elaine's voice trembled. Tom, what do they want? What do they want with us? Us? I whispered. Or me? The woman glanced back sharply. Do not personalize this. They don't want you. They want control. Control of what? I demanded. Of whatever Harwood hid, she said. And right now that includes your life. The sedan on our left lurched forward again, bumping the SUV's side panel. Metal shrieked. Cole cursed and swung the wheel hard to the right, sending us momentarily onto the gravel shoulder before pulling us back onto the road. We won't make it at this pace, he said. Breath tight. We need to switch vehicles. Elaine blinked. Switch vehicles to what? The woman tapped her comm earpiece twice. Fast. Alpha. Confirm position. We need extraction on County 17, eastbound. No response. She tried again. Alpha. Respond. Still nothing. Cole shot her a look. Jammed. Probably, she muttered. Before she could finish, the white pickup behind us surged forward, ramming us hard. Everyone jolted. The envelope nearly fell from Elaine's grip. Give me that, I said, taking it and shoving it inside my jacket. No matter what happens, this stays with us. The woman nodded. Good. Don't let it out of your hands. But then her eyes widened. Bridge ahead, she said. Steel guardrails, narrow. They'll box us in. Cole's knuckles whitened on the wheel. Hold on. The sedan on our left sped up, pulling ahead of us, just enough to try to cut in front. Cole anticipated it and tapped the brakes, letting the sedan overcorrect. It swerved too far and nearly clipped the guardrail. Now, he shouted. He floored it. The SUV shot forward, engine roaring, closing the distance before the sedan could recover. We shot onto the bridge. The woman exhaled. That bought us 10 seconds. Maybe 20. Conrad muttered. Not enough. We cleared the bridge, but the pickup was still behind us, and the sedan was regaining its line. The woman turned to us. When we stop, and we will stay low. Do not get out until I tell you. Stop, Elaine whispered. What do you mean when? Cole didn't sugarcoat it. Tires can't take much more. Right rear is almost shredded. As if on cue, the SUV jolted again. A flapping sound started. The pickup surged forward. Tom, I'm scared, Elaine whispered against my shoulder. I know, I said, squeezing her hand. I know, just hold on. The woman pulled a small device from her jacket. We can still control the engagement. Cole, take the next right. There's a service road that leads nowhere, Cole snapped. Exactly, she said. Less traffic. Fewer variables. Cole swerved onto the service road. Dust and gravel kicked up behind us. The pickup followed instantly. The sedan followed. A third vehicle appeared at the far end of the road, blocking the exit. That's it, Cole muttered. That's their roadblock, Elaine gasped. Then what do we do? Cole pressed harder on the gas. The woman's eyes widened. Cole, no. You'll never punch through. We're not punching through, Cole growled. He reached under his seat and pulled a small black switch. My stomach dropped. What is that? Brace, Cole said. The SUV lurched. A loud metallic clunk echoed beneath us. Then something detonated behind the vehicle, loud but controlled, a diversionary burst of noise and smoke. The pickup behind us swerved blind into the dust cloud, losing visibility. The woman smirked. You've been saving that one. Protocols, Cole said. But the sedan didn't fall back. It pushed harder. And the third vehicle ahead didn't move. Cole, stop. The woman shouted. He slammed the brakes so hard we all flew forward. The SUV skidded sideways, spinning 90 degrees, stopping in a diagonal block across the road. The sedan behind us slammed its brakes too late and clipped our rear bumper, sending itself into a ditch. The pickup regained visibility, just in time to stop behind it. The third vehicle ahead, the one blocking the road, didn't advance. It simply waited. Cole turned to us, breath ragged. When I say go, get out and run behind the SUV. Stay low, follow the ditch line. If they fire, they're not firing. The woman cut in firmly. Not yet. How do you know? I asked. Because if they wanted us dead, they would have shot out the windows 5 minutes ago. That was not comforting, Elaine whispered. Tom, what if we don't run fast enough? You will, I said, gripping her shoulders. I promise. But I didn't feel certain. Cole reached for the door handle, and then the third vehicle's door opened. A man stepped out, tall, clean-shaven, calm, his posture too relaxed, too familiar with this kind of confrontation. He didn't raise a weapon. He didn't shout. He simply called out, Thomas. My blood ran cold. Elaine tensed. Tom. He knows your name, Cole muttered. Don't answer. But the man already walked closer, hands visible, confident. Thomas Dalton, he said. Or should I say, Thomas Harwood Jr. I felt the world tilt again. Conrad whispered, Tom, don't engage him. The man smiled faintly. You look like him, you know, Harwood. Same eyes. Who are you? I demanded. I've been trying to meet you for a long time, he said. You've been kept from your inheritance, your identity, your entire truth. The woman barked. Do not listen to him. He's not an ally. The man ignored her. I'm the only one who will tell you the real reason your mother disappeared. Elaine froze. Tom. I felt my chest tighten. The man continued, Your mother didn't abandon you. She didn't die in childbirth. She ran. Why? I demanded. He took another step forward, because Harwood wasn't protecting you from the world. He was protecting the world from you. Elaine's hand slipped out of mine. Conrad inhaled sharply. The woman whispered, "Don't you say another word." But the man raised a hand. "Thomas, you inherited something you don't understand. And your father hid you because he feared what you'd become if anyone found you." I stared at him. My voice barely came out. "What did he think I'd become?" The man smiled. "Exactly what you're becoming now." The man's words hit me like a punch. I didn't see coming exactly what you're becoming now. My mind struggled to grasp them. Becoming what? I looked at Elaine. Her hand found mine again, trembling, but she didn't pull away. Neither did I. "Becoming what?" I demanded. My voice shook, but I forced it stronger. "Explain yourself?" He smiled faintly, as though he had all the time in the world. "Harwood knew the truth about your bloodline. He knew you weren't just a hidden heir. You carry something dangerous. Something they've been waiting decades to see manifested." Elaine's grip tightened on my arm. "Tom, this isn't making any sense." I shook my head. "It's not making sense to me either." The woman in the passenger seat barked, "Ignore him. He's here to manipulate you." Cole leaned toward the wheel, voice low but controlled. "Ignore everyone who isn't me or her. Right now, this is survival." I nodded, but my gaze stayed locked on the man in front of us. He stepped closer, but didn't move aggressively. His calm, deliberate steps were worse than a charge. "Thomas," he said, voice low, almost hypnotic. "Do you remember the cabin?" The words made my blood run cold. The text on Conrad's phone, 1989, the cabin. I swallowed. "I don't know any cabin." He shook his head slowly. "You do. You just buried it. You were 12. You witnessed something your father wanted hidden. Something that, if revealed, would make everything about your existence, and this inheritance, uncontrollable." Elaine gasped. "Tom, what did he mean?" I looked at her, pale, frozen. "I don't know. I can't remember." The man smiled faintly. "And that's the problem. Because others can remember. And they've been searching for that memory, that knowledge, for decades." I felt Conrad shift in his seat behind me. "You don't know what he's capable of," he muttered. The woman barked again. "Conrad, shut up. He's poisoning them. Don't engage." But the man ignored all of us. "Do you understand, Thomas? That envelope you carry, the one your wife holds, isn't just money. It isn't just your inheritance. It's proof. Proof of who you are, and proof of what you're meant to do." Elaine's face went pale. "What meant to do? Tom, tell me you're not listening to him." "I'm listening," I said slowly. "I have to," Cole muttered under his breath, gripping the wheel tighter. "Every second you hesitate, they close the net. Do not indulge him." The man smiled wider, almost cruelly. "Good. You're starting to understand. The others, the ones trying to intercept you, won't stop. They can't, because they fear what you could uncover, if you choose to act." I shook my head. "Act? What act?" "Your father tried to prepare you," he said. "But he hid too much, and Harwood knew the only way to keep you safe was to isolate you from the estate, from the money, from your own bloodline, until now." Elaine's voice was soft, trembling. "Tom, we can't stay here. We have to move." I looked at the SUV, at Cole, and then back at the man. "Move where? He's everywhere." The man shrugged slightly. "I told you, some things can't be avoided, but it's your choice whether you face them prepared or blind." I swallowed hard. "Prepared how?" "By accepting who you are," he said. "By understanding what your father hid from you, and by confronting those who've spent a lifetime trying to erase you from history." I felt a wave of nausea, Erase me from history. Exactly. He pointed at the envelope. What she holds in her hands is more than paper. It's the key to everything, and it's why they're willing to kill for it. Elaine clutched it tighter. Then we don't give it to them ever. The man's eyes narrowed. You will have to give it to someone, and soon, or the consequences will be irreversible. I felt my chest tighten. Who? Who gets it? That depends on you, he said calmly, and on what you choose to remember. I looked at Elaine, at Conrad, at Cole. The road stretched out ahead, long, narrow, and suddenly far too dangerous. Cole's voice cut through my spiraling thoughts. We're taking the service road to the creek path. Fast. Keep low. Run when I say run. The woman leaned forward. Do not look back. They'll aim for hesitation. Elaine pressed herself into my side. Tom, whatever is happening, we have to survive first. Then we deal with the rest. I nodded. But inside I felt a storm. The envelope. The man's words. My bloodline. The cabin. Everything was colliding. A weight I couldn't push off. The SUV jolted again. Gravel flew from the tires. The white pickup from before reappeared. Headlights blazing behind us. The sedan had recovered, tailing us from the ditch side. Cole shouted, "Run in 3, 2, 1, go." Elaine's hand gripped mine tighter as we leapt from the SUV's side door. Gravel tore at our shoes, and I felt the sting, but didn't care. The envelope stayed against my chest. Behind us, tires screamed, engines roared, and the man who had called me by name shouted something I couldn't make out. We ran into the ditch, sliding into cover behind tall brush. The pickup skidded past us, narrowly missing the edge of the embankment. The sedan followed, slowing just enough to avoid disaster. Elaine gasped for air. Tom, that man, he knows everything. I know, I said, still sprinting beside her, and we're going to figure it out, together. Conrad caught up, glancing back. We can't stop, they'll regroup. I tightened my grip on the envelope. We don't stop, not until we know what's inside. Not until we know why my father hid me. Not until we face all of it. Elaine's eyes met mine. Fear, yes, but also determination. Then we keep going, no matter what. The man's voice carried faintly from behind. Untraceable. Mocking. Almost satisfied. Thomas Dalton, he said. Voice fading as the vehicles raced past. Your life has already begun to unravel. Let's see if you survive the truth. And with that, we disappeared into the thick brush along the creek path, every step pushing us further from safety and closer to the secrets buried decades ago. The brush scratched at our arms and legs as we scrambled down the creek embankment, gravel and mud making every step treacherous. I held the envelope tighter, feeling its weight press against my chest. Not just physical weight, but the gravity of what it represented. Elaine stayed close, her hand intertwined with mine, her breaths quick but determined. Conrad scanned behind us, glancing between the shadows and the road where the pickup and sedan had vanished. They'll circle back, he warned. They're not done, and that man, he knows more than we do. Every move we make, they anticipate. Elaine's voice trembled. Tom, why did he say, your life has begun to unravel? What does that even mean? I swallowed hard. I don't know, but I have a feeling we're about to find out. The woman from the SUV emerged from the undergrowth beside us, keeping pace without a sound. Keep moving, she said sharply. Do not stop until we reach the clearing. Once we reach it, we can regroup and assess threats. Cole followed, eyes darting. Half a mile ahead, the path opens into a secondary road. From there, extraction is easier. But it's not secure. Someone's likely waiting. Elaine's grip tightened. Tommy, we're being hunted. By who? And for what? I shook my head. I don't know. Not yet. But it's about the envelope. And whatever it proves, The underbrush began to thin. Ahead, the faint glow of a service road appeared through the trees. I could hear the soft hum of engines in the distance, though they were careful, silent, strategically positioned. The woman halted and whispered, "Here, ditch the main path and follow me to the left. Cover's better. If they see you here, it's over." We veered off, slipping through a tangle of small trees and roots. My heart hammered in my chest. Every snapped branch or rustle of leaves made me jump. Behind us, the faint echoes of pursuit reminded us that we weren't alone. Conrad muttered, "I can't believe this is real. I've dealt with threats my entire career, but this is beyond anything I've seen." I glanced at him. "Do you think Harwood planned this? The chase, the secrecy. Did he anticipate something like this for me?" The woman's voice was cold. "He didn't anticipate you surviving this long without knowing the truth. That's why others moved first. The estate's enemies knew more than you ever would. Until now." Elaine's eyes widened. "Enemies of the estate? Do you mean family?" The woman shook her head. "Not family. Opportunists. People who benefit from your death or silence. They've spent decades positioning themselves, and now the envelope has put you back on their radar." I swallowed hard. "Then it's not just about money, it's about control." "Exactly," she said. "And control is worth anything to them." Cole scanned the horizon, then pointed. "Extraction point 20 meters ahead. Old maintenance shack. Could serve as temporary cover." We broke into a light sprint, careful not to make too much noise. Mud sprayed our shoes and pants. Every step felt like a gamble, but the envelope remained secure against my chest. I knew it contained everything. Proof of my lineage, my father's intentions, and whatever secret had led to me being hidden from the world. Elaine stumbled slightly, and I grabbed her arm. "Careful." She nodded, brushing mud from her pants. "I can't believe this is happening, Tom. After all these years, everything we thought we knew, gone." I glanced at her. "I know, but we survived this. We'll understand. We have to." The shack came into view. Old, abandoned, windows boarded, paint peeling. It was perfect for temporary cover, a spot to regroup before moving to the next extraction point. The woman crouched near the door, motioning us inside. "Quickly. Step lightly. If anyone spots you here, they'll know exactly where to aim." We slipped inside, gravel crunching softly under our feet. Inside, the air was stale, but safe. For a moment we all exhaled. Conrad leaned against the wall, breathing heavily. "We're not safe yet," he said, voice low, "but at least they can't hit us from the road right now." Elaine's eyes were wide. "Tom, what if he's right? What if the envelope, what it proves, changes everything about who you are?" I swallowed hard. "Then we deal with it. Together." The woman walked to a broken window and peered outside. "Temporary safety only. They're persistent. And they've already learned your patterns. Do not underestimate them." A distant sound, tires on gravel, faint but deliberate, made us all tense. Someone was scouting, watching, waiting. Cole whispered, "They're regrouping. They're regrouping." The man, Harwood's other agent, the one who called you by name, is likely coordinating them. He's clever, patient, and he knows you're slow to believe the full truth. I clenched the envelope tighter. Then we need to understand the full truth. Now, before they close in again. Elaine pressed her forehead against my shoulder. "Tom, I'm scared. But I know we'll face it, together." The woman turned to us, expression unreadable. "Once we move from here, there's no turning back. You'll see why your father hid you, why he kept the estate secret, and why those who want you dead will stop at nothing to erase you." I swallowed hard. "Then we move. We face whatever's coming." Cole nodded. "Good. Secondary route to extraction point. Shorter, less visibility, but tighter. Move quickly, or they'll anticipate our path. Elaine whispered. Tom, do you think the man from the road, the one who knows your name, is telling the truth? I shook my head. I don't know, but we'll find out. Whatever it takes, we survive first. Then we uncover everything. The woman gestured to the back exit of the shack. Quietly. Stay low. And remember, the envelope must never leave your possession. Not for them, not for anyone else. I nodded, checking the envelope one last time. Elaine's hand found mine again. Conrad followed closely. Cole led the way. We slipped out the back, into the shadows, moving as one unit, silent, tense, aware of every sound, every movement. Behind us, the faint glow of headlights swept past the main road. They were still hunting, still watching, still waiting. And I realized, with a chill, that our lives had changed forever. The envelope wasn't just a piece of paper. It was a weapon, a target, and the key to everything my father had hidden from me. I looked at Elaine. No matter what, we survive this. Then we uncover the truth, whatever it costs. Her eyes met mine, fierce, despite the fear. Together, I nodded. And then we moved into the darkness, hearts pounding, ready for the next confrontation. We moved like shadows through the underbrush. Every step measured, every breath held. The envelope pressed against my chest, felt heavier than ever. It was no longer just paper. It was the reason we were hunted, the proof of a life I never knew existed, and the key to a legacy I was only beginning to understand. Cole whispered from the front, 200 meters to the extraction point. Stay low. They're still behind us, but the ditch path gives us cover. Eyes sharp, Elaine pressed herself against me. Tom, I can't believe this is real. It's like we're in a nightmare we can't wake from. I swallowed hard. I know. But nightmares are easier to face when you hold someone's hand, yours. Conrad scanned the tree line. I don't like this. Too many angles. One wrong move, and they have the high ground. The woman from the SUV, moving ahead of us, stopped abruptly. Hold, we froze, hearts hammering. From the tree line, a man stepped forward, clean-shaven, tall, hands empty. But I recognized him immediately, the one who called me by name. Thomas Dalton, he said calmly. Or should I say, Thomas Harwood, Jr. Do you understand now? Elaine gasped. Tom, he knows everything. I forced myself to stay calm. What do you want from us? He smiled faintly. Not what you think. I'm not here to kill. I'm here to show you why your father hid you. To prepare you for what comes next. And to see if you're ready to claim it. I frowned. Claim what? The estate? Yes. But more importantly, the truth. Your father built more than a fortune. He built protections, networks, secrets, things only you can now control. But first, you must understand what was done to keep you hidden. Elaine clutched my arm. Tom, can we trust him? I shook my head slightly. I don't know, but we have to listen. It might be our only chance. The man stepped closer. Harwood knew the people after you wouldn't stop at anything. That's why he sent the envelope with your wife. Proof of your identity. Proof of what you're entitled to. Proof of what they fear in you. I pressed my hand to the envelope again. Then it's why they tried to kill us on the road. Exactly, he said. But surviving the attack isn't enough. You must act, and you must understand why your mother disappeared when you were a child. Elaine whispered. Tom, is this real? I nodded slowly. I think it's real, and terrifying. The woman beside us stepped forward, voice low and urgent. You've heard him. To trust nothing outside this unit. Any misstep now, and they'll finish what they started decades ago. The man nodded. She's right. Timing is everything. You have 24 hours to secure your inheritance and protect the legacy. After that, those who've been waiting for your downfall will come for you relentlessly. Conrad muttered. 24 hours to do what exactly? To accept the responsibility you never knew existed, the man said. To face the people who believe they can erase you. To uncover the secrets Harwood buried in every ledger, every document, every hidden agreement, and to choose who survives the fallout. I swallowed hard. And if we fail? His gaze hardened. Then everything dies with you. Not just you, not just the estate, but the truth of your bloodline. Elaine's voice shook. Tom, what do we do? I looked at her, at Conrad, at the woman who had been guiding us. We survive. We protect the envelope. And we uncover the truth. No matter what it takes. Together, the man stepped back. A faint smile on his lips. Then you are ready to see the first of your father's secrets. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a small keycard. This opens a safe Harwood built under the cabin, near Lake Harwood. It's been waiting for you. Inside, everything starts. The envelope burned against my chest. The cabin, he nodded. The place you tried to forget. The place where the life you were denied began. Go there. Use this. You'll find proof of your mother, your father's final instructions, and the forces aligned against you. Elaine whispered. Tom, we have to go. Now. I nodded, turning toward Cole and the woman guiding us. Take us there, quickly. Every second counts. We moved toward the extraction point, carefully stepping onto the dirt road that led to the cabin. I kept the envelope secure, sweat dripping down my back. Every shadow, every sound, reminded me that we were being watched, but we were moving with purpose. As we approached the edge of the road, the vehicles from before appeared again, silent, waiting, as though they knew we'd survive this far. The woman hissed. Ignore them, focus. Don't falter. We did. Cole led the way onto a narrow side path, one that wound through thick trees, eventually leading to the lake's edge. There it was, the cabin, weathered, secluded, untouched for decades. I froze. It's still here. Elaine gripped my arm. Then we see it through. No matter what. The woman handed me the keycard. Everything your father left you, all the truth is inside. But once you open it, there's no going back. I looked at Elaine, ready? She nodded, fierce despite the fear. Together. I inserted the keycard into the cabin's old keypad. A soft click. The door creaked open. Inside, dust motes floated in the dim light. The safe sat at the back wall, exactly where the man said it would be. I inserted the card. Click. The door swung open. Inside were files, ledgers, documents. A small wooden box, labeled property of Thomas Harwood. Junior Elaine gasped. Everything, all of it. I nodded, hands trembling. I opened the box. Inside, photographs, letters, a sealed envelope addressed to me, and a ledger that detailed Harwood's fortune, his hidden alliances, and the truth of my mother. Tears pricked my eyes. It's all here, everything. The woman whispered. Now, you understand. This is why they've hunted you. This is why your father hid you. The moment you claim it, you step into a world you've never imagined, and one you must control. Elaine pressed her forehead against mine. Tom, we can do this. Together. I held her close. The envelope against my chest. Together, I echoed. Outside, the wind rustled through the trees, carrying a faint whisper of the past, and a warning of what was coming. We were no longer just survivors. We were heirs, keepers of a legacy buried in secrets, hunted by enemies, and bound by blood. And we were ready, because the truth was finally in our hands.